Kaplan, please.
I wanted to talk about a subject that came up when I was talking to our producer a few days ago. The subject of memory, zikaron. You see that there's sometimes that everybody remembers things, but there's some people that remember far back, remember a lot of things, a lot of little details. Some people don't remember so good. But sometimes you wonder, you see, and I've seen it twice for sure, but maybe even more, that it happens sometimes, something that you're sure this is going to be remembered for always. It comes years later, and the person forgot that it ever happened. They don't even know what happened. The first time that it struck me, this phenomena, was there was somebody that I knew, how many years ago, 45 years ago maybe it was. And this person came to Eretz Yisrael from California. And he lived in some machsan. In English, you would call it a basement, but a little place. I'm a little one who was like a myra, like living in a cave. And the person, for some reason, I have a suspicion that he wanted to stay like that his whole life. And he paid rent, maybe, or he didn't pay rent. I probably didn't pay rent. The Baal Bais was a Baal Chesed. And then there was somebody else that used that same machsan to keep things that he, boxes of tefillin and things like that. And one day that person came and he wanted to take over this machsan, and he took this one that was living there, he took all his things and he threw them out. And it was a tremendous agmas nefesh for this person. I mean, and then it came out many years later. It could even be that it was 30 years later that I met this person or got to know this person. And I told him, there's somebody that has paid on you till today. He feels pain from what you did to him. This person did not remember anything, not at all. It's very strange to me. How could it be such a thing? Okay, you don't have to have a good memory. But why do you want, but how could you not remember that you once used a certain machsan and you took somebody else's things and you threw them out, and then I started understanding that there's sometimes it happens by certain people that there are things that are just not important. But it's still hard to understand how could it be such a thing. Now, after getting to know this person, after many years of knowing the person that lived in that machsan, I have a certain feeling that min hashamayim, these things were, definitely it was supposed to happen to him. But it could be that it was a message that you want to live this kind of a life, so here, this is what you're gonna get. You want to be min hayishuv, it won't happen to you. You want to be aino min hayishuv. This is what happens to aino min hayishuv. You chose to be a homeless, so this is what it is. But that person didn't learn his lesson. So he stayed the way it was. But that's really not the subject that we're talking about now. So I started thinking, you see, then it happened to me that I said a joke at a certain Sheva Brachos. And the Bala Simcha started laughing. And I myself said that joke to him 2 years earlier. And also then he laughed so hard. But why did he laugh so hard as if he never heard it? It looked as if he never heard. How could he? So I started thinking, and the producer pointed out to me that there's such a thing that's called air, and there's such a thing called, we know there are 4 elements: earth, air, and water, and fire. There are certain people that they're more earthy people, and certain people are more airy people.
This, Rabbi Kaplan, just to tell our listeners, this is all basic astrology 101.
This is basic astrology. Now, I didn't want to, in the beginning, I didn't want to use the word astrology because maybe that turns off some people. But once you mention it, I'll say it, that in astrology, these 4 elements are used, and the 12 months of the year are divided up into the 4 elements. It's 3 months to every element. It's not every 3 months, it's every 4th month is that same element. Now, air means, how can you explain it? People that are floating, that are not, they're light. Maybe they're more happy, but that's not so exact to say that. But they're not. They don't take life as serious as the earthy people, and that's their whole being is like that. Like, so what? So what? So it happens. So is it said. They live a happier life in a certain sense because they don't take, not everything bothers them. Not everything do they take seriously. Not every word that a person says gets on their nerves. On the other hand, the earthy people, they take everything seriously. He said, what did he mean? Was he trying to hurt me? He definitely was trying to hurt me. Why does it hurt me? How much should it hurt me? And I myself, which I'm one of those earthy people, I can sometimes remember how somebody did something to me 40, 50 years ago and feel the pain all over again. Now,
well, Rabbi Kaplan, just to remind you, not only your Earth, but your Earth was Kimot no air.
oh,
Now, we both know a PhD in physics who's air and Earth together. Somebody we know, no names.
yeah.
Well, he's getting his PhD, I think.
Oh, he's on his way, yeah. Yeah, right. And what about him?
No, I'm saying you can have both. You're an extreme. You're Earth without air.
Yeah, that means you could be a earthy and airy at the same time, and it expresses itself in different ways. I mean, this person that you just mentioned, he uses this expression. So what? So what do you care? On the other hand, he takes things very seriously. Now, although a lot of things he takes very not seriously. But what's interesting, I just thought about it, that this person, when he decides not to take things seriously, he does it with Havona. He doesn't do it with Kalus. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not taking it. It's a conscious decision not to take it seriously. But there's other people that they just don't take it seriously, and that's all. Like, I even know somebody. I don't know his birthday, and I don't know his signs, but he's definitely a hairy person. I saw this person in the Kupat Chalim in Arnov. So I said to him, it comes an age when you start going to Kupat Chalim and going to the doctors. So he says, yeah, and once you start that, you don't finish. I didn't like it so much what he said. I said, no, Hashem will help. It'll finish. We won't stay like this. So he says, no, it's not going to be that way. And he says, and they all say Mashiach is going to come and everything will be better. He's not going to come. That's what he said, a frum person, a Haredi. No, he's not going to come. He didn't come all these years. You see what? And this is a person, he's very lightweight. He could come to say, the Rambam calls that apicorsis, Ainu mitzapel bios. They'll say he didn't mean it seriously. Okay, but you don't say apicorsis because you didn't mean it seriously. But when you're lightweight, hey, man, so what? Who says he's ever gonna go? What kind of talk is that? But then there's this other person that he could also say, so what, who cares? But it's our conscious decision, our intelligent decision that to say, so what? Yeah, it's not the same. Anyway, memory has a lot to do with all this. That means there's some people that life is serious to them. Now, I'm not going to say that on every step you can see that they're careful not to waste a minute. I mean, I know somebody that he keeps saying that I take everything seriously. Everything is important. I mean, the famous line of the Breslau Rebbe in Sipur Maises in the first story. By me, everything is serious. On the other hand, that person, he'll never take a Gemara and work on it hard by himself. I mean, that's already, that's not, I mean, if you take it all seriously, so why
Well,
not?
let's ask another question. Maybe that person is not so smart. Is he a Mosmead, this person?
But
he's not so smart.
You're not so smart, but with Omo and Yegia, even people with a metumtam head, they came to something. And and on the other hand, why can't he try? So the answer is that he could say it's good to say that everything is serious, but till it comes to myself, till it comes to working hard, and then but to demand from others, you have to say sharp, brilliant things. So you see that there's many different ways how a person can take life seriously, and that has to do with memory. That means if you're light, so a lot of things will just go through the mind and just like they'll float through and then go out, no matter how important they are, no matter how serious they are. And if you're heavy, so everything is going to stay in the mind, everything is going to be remembered. The Svasemes says, Zohar is Yom HaShabbos L'Kadsha. What's Zohar? It doesn't say Zichor with a commandment. Zichor would be a commandment. Remember. Hashem is saying, remember the Shabbos. But that would be Zichor. But the Zohar, to those that have a delicate regish in language, they'll understand what I mean. Zohar means it should be remembered. Not remember, but it should be remembered. I think that's how to translate it. It says the Svasemes that means not the pshat that you have to remember. Just look it up in your memory and remember there's a Shabbos. It says no, Zohar. It should be a remembered thing. That means it should be your essence. It should be in your essence that there's a Shabbos. You don't have to remember it. It's by itself it's remembered. It's so important that it's something you can't forget.
Rabbi Kaplan, let's take a break now. Thank you.